Deion Sanders splashed headlines when he announced he was going to become the new head football coach at Colorado University. Twitter has exploded with commentary, and some comments specifically caught my eye. That Deion can bring Colorado back to prominence? Now, in my lifetime, Colorado has never been good. But a quick Google search has shown me that the late 80s through the early 2000s were a glorious time out in Boulder, Colorado.
It out somehow. Dave McClellan inside the 10 and he takes it in. Here's Miller. He's hit. He goes up the 17-yard line. Buffalo's the Big 8 champions. The enemy. Touchdown for Colorado.
And that closes the ball game. Colorado 10, Notre Dame 9.
So today, let's go down that rabbit hole and look at the rise and fall of Colorado football. Colorado's journey to the top of the college football mountain began in the spring of 1982. Former head coach Chuck Fairbanks had just resigned to become the head coach of a new USFL team, and Michigan defensive coordinator Bill McCarthy had just been tabbed the new CU head coach. While he was not Colorado's first or second call for the job, McCarthy was a talented coach who worked his way from being a high school coach all the way to defensive coordinator 8 years later.
Bo made the call that got me the interview out here at Colorado. If he doesn't call, I don't interview.
McCarthy had his work cut out for him though, with a team that had been 7-26 over the past 3 years. The McCarthy era started off poorly, going 7-25-1 in his first 3 years from 1982 to 1984. While things were not going great under McCarthy's tenure, this was all part of the plan. The team redshirted all of their first years in McCarthy's first recruiting class in 1983, so the 1984 season was filled with true and redshirt first-year students making their college football debut. The upcoming 1985 season needed to be a huge year for the program, and McCarthy knew it. The program felt it had some good experience coming back and had a great offseason. But McCarthy knew he needed one big move to really symbolize the shift that this program was about to take. And that move came in the form of the wishbone offense. People were skeptical since Colorado was one of the worst rushing offenses in the country in 1984, but it was just what the Colorado football program needed. The players were really excited about the new offense, the practices with this offense made the defense tougher, and it made the Buffaloes a really tough team for opponents to prepare for, since only 9 other teams in the country ran this offense. The 1985 Colorado Buffaloes were a different team, and it showed on the field. The team finished 7-5 and was invited to its first bowl game in 9 years.
Be a part of exciting college bowl action December 30th when the Washington Huskies battle the Colorado Buffaloes in the second annual Freedom Bowl.
I'm Don James of the Washington Huskies, and I hope you'll join us here December 30th when we take on one of the most improved football teams in America, the University of Colorado.
All of its losses were to ranked teams in pretty competitive games, and the team was awarded the NCAA's Most Improved Team Award. The 1986 season saw the team finish 6-1 in conference, including a huge upset of number 3 Nebraska at home for the first time in 19 years.
The pitch. Oliver wants to throw. He's got Lance Carl open. Caught. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. The Buffaloes have scored on a 52-yard pass from O.C. Oliver to Lance Carl.
And the program finished second in the conference for the first time in a quarter of a century. This new era of Colorado football was not a fluke. Led by a unique offense and a staunch defense, the Buffaloes were a tough game whether they won or lost. The following season saw the team continue its winning ways with a 7-win season in 1987 and an 8-win season in 88. The Buffaloes had hit their groove and were finally a competitive program within their conference. The 1989 season saw the Colorado program take the next step from good to great. The program finished the regular season 11-0 and beat Nebraska and Oklahoma in the same season for the first time in 28 years, en route to an outright Big 8 championship. It was the most wins in school history and the program's first conference championship in 13 years. This team was not just winning, but dominating opponents week in and out. This domination led to a New Year's Day Orange Bowl matchup with number 4 ranked Notre Dame with national championship implications on the line. The Orange Bowl was hard fought, but 3 turnovers and lack of red zone scoring doomed the Buffaloes as they fell 21-6. While this season didn't have the storybook ending that many dreamed of, this season was an unquestioned success. Bill McCarthy had built this program into a legitimate national championship contender. Now the question remained, could Colorado actually win one?
Live from Auburn, Alabama, ESPN's College Football Saturday continues.
Going into the 1990 season, the Buffaloes returned some key players from last year, including quarterback Deion Hagan, running back Eric Bieniemy, yes, the Kansas City offensive coordinator, and defensive back Tim James. This squad got off to a rocky start, opening the season 1-1-1, and found itself in some controversy when they infamously used 5 downs to beat Missouri midseason. Yes, you heard me right. The ref crew lost track of the downs, and Colorado scored on a 5th down play to avoid a huge upset in one of the most controversial endings in NCAA history.
I remember saying, I don't think we can do that, Coach. I think that's going to be 4th down when you said spike the ball.
I said, shut up and play center, Leuenberg. But I didn't know, and the referee didn't know, and the downs marker, whoever was holding that downs marker, he didn't know.
But when the dust settled, the Buffaloes were once again Big 8 champions and earned a New Year's Day rematch with Notre Dame at the Orange Bowl. In front of 77,000 people, the Colorado Buffaloes had another date with destiny. The game was a defensive battle, and even worse, Buffalo's quarterback Deion Hagan suffered a knee injury before the half, taking him out of the rest of the game. A touchdown in the 3rd quarter by Bieniemy put the Buffaloes up 1 point, and that ended up being just enough for Colorado to hold on and get revenge on the Fighting Irish to be Orange Bowl champs, and more importantly, national champions.
Runs out the clock, and the figures may be #1 for Colorado.
After a national championship run, the rest of the 90s were a decade of change for the Buffaloes, which featured new coaches, conference realignments, and new offensive systems. But through all the change, the winning ways continued. The teams had 8 wins or more in 8 of the 10 seasons and were co-Big 8 champions in 1991. They stayed consistently ranked and were almost always in contention for a conference championship, but could not beat Nebraska, who was on a dynasty tear. The Cornhuskers won 5 Big 8 championships in the early 90s and 2 Big 12 championships when the conference was formed in 1996. Head coach Bill McCarthy retired from coaching following the 1994 season to devote more time to a Christians men group he founded called the Promise Keepers. Following his exit, Colorado offensive coordinator Rick Neuheisel was promoted to head coach in 1995 and kept Colorado's competitiveness on the national stage. Neuheisel only stayed for 4 seasons before taking the head coaching job at the University of Washington in January of '99. He was succeeded by Northwestern head coach Gary Garnett. Now with all this change, there's one thing we haven't talked about, the bedrock of this program, the wishbone option. During McCarthy's last couple years, the team shifted from the wishbone to the eyebone option. And then once McCarthy retired, both Neuheisel and Garnett had coordinators that ran more traditional balanced offenses. With the success the program had though, they could run almost any system they wanted because they could finally recruit the best athletes in the country. Even the early 2000s were good to Colorado, as they won the Big 12 championship in 2001 and 4 Big 12 North championships in 5 years. Now with all this success, how did Colorado end up the dumpster fire it is today? One word pretty much sums it up, and that is scandal. While they were winning on the field, behind the scenes told a much different story. In 2002, the NCAA put Colorado on a 2-year probation for 51 recruiting violations found during Neuheisel's tenure as head coach. The NCAA restricted recruiting visits for the school and took away scholarships from the program. Barnett was supposed to come in '99 and restore order to Colorado after the alleged chaos of Neuheisel's era, but things only got worse. In 2004, the team was under investigation for offering alcohol and strippers to recruits. More so, during these parties, multiple women came forward and claimed they were raped by Colorado football players. From 1997 to 2004, at least 8 women had come forward with rape allegations against Colorado football players. Barnett was even suspended from spring practice in 2004 for using derogatory terms against one of the rape accusers who was actually a member of the team as a kicker. Now, during Barnett and Neuheisel's tenure, they were still winning on the field, but all these distractions, allegations, and violations all caught up with the program in the Brian Hawkins tenure, starting in 2006, where the team was 19-39, including a 35-point meltdown in the fourth quarter against Kansas.
Kansas rallies from 4 touchdowns down to beat Colorado 52-45. It's the biggest comeback in school history.
Since Hawkins' tenure, the program has stayed mediocre outside of a good season here or there. Winning is not about just what happens on the field. Having a bad culture finds a way to impact the win-loss column, and that's exactly what happened to the Buffaloes. They were having winning seasons at the expense of destroying a winning program. Fast forward to today, and Colorado is coming off one of its worst seasons in history, a one-win season where they lost almost every game by more than 25 points. Athletic Director Rick George is taking a big swing hiring Deion Sanders, and so far, the buzz seems to be electrifying. But make no mistake, Colorado faithful have seen what it's like to be at the top and are hungry to get back there. It is championship or bust for the Colorado Buffaloes. Can Deion Sanders get them back there? Only time will tell. But we do know one thing, it's going to be a show. Hey everyone, it's me again. This time with no glasses. I'm trying to see which one I like better in the camera. But thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it and looking forward to making some more content for you. So if you've made it this far, leave a like and leave a comment down below saying how many wins you think Deion is going to get in his first season. Well, until next time, see you then.